AITA for not grounding my stepson for not eating my mom's food and talking back? This might sound weird, but my stepson, Joey, talks like a grown man. He's 9, but oh my, he's such a gentleman. He has a smart mouth and talks in a witty manner. He has a personality of a 30-year-old. Admittedly, he takes after his father and picks on a lot of what his father says. Another thing I noticed is that he tends to act protective of his dad. How do I explain it? For example, when my husband introduced me to him first time, he told me to take care of his dad and not make him cry. My response was to laugh, but felt a bit intimidated, honestly. Lol. Joey brings his own meals that his dad cooks for him when we visit my parents on the weekend. Because of his allergies, Mom complained about it, saying we were spoiling him rotten by letting him disrespect table manners and not eating what's presented at the table. I explained that Joey isn't doing this because he's a picky kid, but he has food allergies and intolerance, so she should understand that. But every single time we visit, she'd give us grief because of it. Last weekend we visited for dinner and there were formal guests. Joey brought his own meal and joined us to eat at the table. Mom saw his plate, got up from her seat and said, "No, you don't. You're eating what I cooked tonight, mister." My husband gave her a look. I told her to stop, but she said she got this, then proceeded to grab Joey's plate. Joey moved it out of her reach and said no. I said, "Mom, leave him alone," but she threw a fit and lectured me about how Joey is being spoiled and will be fine if he ate what she put on the table. She tried to convince Joey to hand her his plate, but he refused. She tried quilting him, saying Grandma will be upset if he didn't eat what she cooked and will cry because of it. He told her in strict voice, "Cry me a river. Build a bridge. And get over it, lady. I'm keeping my dinner." She was shocked, but everybody else started laughing. My husband's face turned red and he just paused. Mom walked into the kitchen and was so upset. She lost it after the guests left and said Joey was behaving like a spoiled brat with his god-awful, slick attitude and talk-back nonsense. She demanded I step up, get a grip and start showing him consequences by giving him a punishment for what he said, did. I told her he has allergy and cannot eat her food. Period. Nothing is gonna change that. She got more upset and claimed I avoid punishing Joey just to please my husband. She literally cried, saying she got embarrassed in front of guests and I should punish Joey for his attitude towards her, but I refused. My husband wanted to apologize, but I saw no need for it. She hasn't been speaking to us ever since. NTA. I told her he has allergy and cannot eat her food. Period. I'm assuming that Grandma doesn't cater to his food needs. I'd just stop visiting Grandma if she's upset about him not eating food that can harm him. If she wants to see him, she can meet him at your house where he can eat food that he is comfortable with. NTA at all. Food allergies are nothing to fuck around with. And your mother needs to understand that. She wouldn't listen the first, or second, or third time both you and your stepson said no. And then she tried to emotionally manipulate Joey. This is 100% on her and she should honestly be ashamed. Edited to thank for my first ever award. NTA. She embarrassed herself. Joey sounds like a legend. Good on him for standing up for himself. Although that is actually your task, not his. NTA. Joey has allergies. If she does not cook to accommodate his allergies, then he cannot eat the food she prepares. She embarrassed herself by making a huge scene. NTA. For not punishing your stepson for defending himself from your abusive mother. Yet, you are a total asshole for repeatedly bringing him into an unsafe place and allowing your mother to constantly berate and try to poison him. This young kid shows more maturity than either of you. NTA. I mean, obviously he can't eat food he's allergic to. Also, he sounds funny. Ash your mom for obvious reasons. And you for letting this scene get so absurdly out of hand that your 9-year-old stepson had to combat his grandma in front of everyone himself. You should have told your mother prior to this spectacle that you're no longer going over there for dinner until she respects his food allergies. NTA for not grounding him. But you should have done more to stop your mom from attempting to take his food. You should punish Joey by taking him to the cinema or amusement park or some other outing he'd enjoy. Make sure to document the punishment on Facebook. NTA. NTA. And your mother seems more crazy than she does an asshole. He's literally allergic. WTF? Probably not going to be popular, but esh. Your mother for insisting the kid eats her food and for insisting you punish him when he should have been something his father should have done if he felt the kid had misbehaved. You and especially your husband for not standing for the 10-year-old who is being bullied by an adult in front of everybody. No wonder he's protective of his father. His father doesn't seem to have the balls to make sure his kid isn't bullied by some crazy entitled witch. That man should refuse to go to your parents' house because of your mother's attitude towards his child. If she was so worried about embarrassing herself in front of formal guests, then she shouldn't have made a scene. On top of that, if any of the guests had trouble with Joey eating his own meal, it only takes a simple, we prepare his dinner beforehand because he has specific allergies. The entire fiasco with the formal guests is completely avoided by just letting Joey eat what he wants to eat. The only problem at this point is grandma's control issues. NTA op. NTA. No offense, but your mom was just being dense and quite frankly mannerless and asked for drama by attempting to snatch his food, made by her or not. Trying to take away someone's meal is a no-no. And if she really cared about him eating her food, she should try to make something that suits him and his needs. Info. Has your mom made any attempt to learn your son's allergies and tailor her meals to suit them? I can see where Joey may have overstepped in his response, but I also can't necessarily fault him based on your description. Sounds like grandma is taking his allergies as a personal affront and being offended that he'd dare not just trust her and eat what she cooks. But time and time again we've seen how dangerous that is for people with food allergies. She made the scene. He just brought it to its necessary end, and she has zero right to blame him for embarrassing her when she is the one who embarrassed herself from the start. NTA. Providing your son food that doesn't contain his allergens is not spoiling him. Your mom sounds like a piece of work and Joey put her in her place. Good for him for advocating for himself and knowing he can't eat things that contain his allergens. NTA. Your mother is entirely in the wrong. And TBH, your kid's attitude is warranted in the face of continued harassment. So long as you're teaching him when not to be a smartass, everything's probably fine. You're NTA. But your husband needs to be standing up for his child. The kid shouldn't have to deal with an adult bullying him by himself. On a side note, you kept saying Joey brought his own food. Did Joey make his food, or did the adults? Edit. Your mom and your husband are major Oz. Your husband needs to be a father and take care of his kid rather than be worried about drama. I'ma say NTA. She know he has allergies and still tries to give him food that he is allergic to? Is she trying to kill him? Least she could do is ask what his allergies are and make food based on that for him. And also that kids go in places with that humor and response LMFAOO. Edit. Spelling error. Esh. Why on God's green earth are you going to your mother's house every weekend while she actively disrespects your parenting and tries to feed this child things he is allergic to? If she really cared about the kid, she would find out recipes that work with his allergies. Yes. Your kid has a smart mouth, and no, it's not cute. But by leaving him dangling, you've left him with no other option to protect his health but backtalk. It's good that he has a strong enough personality to stand up for himself. And why the F does that child's mother have to send him with meals? You and his dad should be able to make him food he can eat. Why haven't you put in that tiny little bit of efforts to make your home comfortable? NTA. I have no problem with a child being sassy when an adult is clearly bullying them. Your stepson has no control over his allergies, and I think it's very reasonable and considerate that you always provide an alternate meal when visiting, dining out rather than making the host try to figure it out.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.